Hi there, and welcome to Lost in Literature. I'll be getting on with Act 3, Scene 1, Part 2, where you have the conspirators talking to Antony. All right, it's a very, very important part because we see Antony at his diplomatic best. He is actually standing in the midst of all these conspirators with their swords, stained totally with Caesar's blood. And Caesar is lying at the base of Pompey's statue, and Antony has to talk very carefully with these people. Otherwise, they are going to kill him too. He's well aware of this danger, but he comes along to meet them. So let's start with that. Cassius, where's Antony? Trebonius fled to his house, amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday. So you have Trebonius giving us the situation, the scare, the utter chaos, the panic. The situation has caused the killing of Caesar. Naturally, you can imagine Caesar with all those stab wounds on him and how the crowd would have panicked. All right? So they say Antony has fled, run away naturally till he comes to terms with this. He is going to protect himself because now he knows that a bunch of people have gone crazy and killed Caesar. Brutus, fates, we'll know your pleasures, that we shall die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing out that men stand upon. All right? So here you have Brutus, addressing the fates. Now, the fates are these three women. You have Clotho. Clotho symbolizes birth. She is the one who spins the thread of life. And then you have Lachesis, and she's the one who measures how long that thread should be. And finally, you have the terrible Atropos. She's the one who cuts the string and ends a person's life. So Brutus is addressing them. He says we all know our destinies, in the sense that we know that we are going to die someday. But what frightens people is the fact that the time of death is unknown. When is this event going to happen in life? Casca, why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. But now Casca is giving us a very positive side of this. Like he says, but he's referring to him, ironically, to himself and the conspirators. All right? He says, actually, the person who is cutting off life, putting an end to it, is actually doing a favor, because that many years of wondering and fearing the prospect of death is shortened. So Brutus agrees to that, grant that, and then in which case death is a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged, shortened his time of fearing death? So are we Caesar's friend. We are his friends, actually. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let's bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbow. So let's dip our hands in his blood because the blood is flowing freely. So many stab wounds. So he says, let's stoop, and you can see Brutus kind of taking control at this point. And besmear our swords. Let's also rub blood on our swords, and then let's walk forth. We haven't done anything wrong that we need to be guilty and hide. Let's walk forth to the public marketplace, and waving our red weapons over our heads, let's all cry peace, freedom, liberty. Cassius, stoop then, wash. Cassius has completely surrendered here to Brutus's leadership. All right? So he says, all right, let's do it. And then he reflects, how many ages hence? I mean, for ages in the future, for many, many years, ages, centuries ahead, this, our lofty scene, our noble action, will be enacted in theaters. And now, it's also a movie. Over and over again, in states unborn, states that have not yet formed, and in accents, languages yet unknown. Our noble deed is going to be very, very famous, right? And we are going to be known as the people who delivered Rome from slavery. Brutus, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport that now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust? So many times people are going to put this up as theatrical productions. And Brutus confirms that. And he points out another ironic thing. Caesar has been slaughtered, killed, assassinated right at, right near Pompey's statue. And he lies low now, exactly where? At the feet of the man whom he had defeated and brought glory to Rome. So short-lived is glory and fame. Cassius, so oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty. So we, the group, the conspirators, will be known as the people who freed Rome. Decius, what? Shall we forth? Shall we go right ahead? Cassius says, aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we'll grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. So he says, let Brutus lead, and we'll follow him. And we are the most daring and the best of people in Rome, creme de la creme. We are right at the top. Right? Okay, so let's lead. Brutus, soft. Who comes here? A friend of Antony's? Antony's servant. Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. He told me to kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, lay prostrate at your feet. All right? And he wanted me to say these words. Brutus is noble, honorable, wise, sagacious, valiant, brave, and honest, direct, transparent. Note the verb here, Brutus is. But Caesar was mighty, absolutely strong, and bold, daring, royal. He was full of these kingly, royal qualities, and loving, affectionate. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. So he says, I say that I love Brutus. I respect him. Say. And then he goes on, to suggest, say, I feared Caesar. I was in awe of Caesar. I honored him and I loved him. Note the tense again. If Brutus will vouchsafe, that Antony vouchsafe, assure that Antony may come safely to him and be resolved and will be satisfied with the reasons of death, how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead, as well as Brutus living. I will honor Brutus living rather than, love Caesar dead. But I have to be given reasons that would satisfy me. The fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus, I will definitely follow Brutus through the hazards, the risks that this untrod state, unknown state, situation with all true faith. I will support back Brutus. So say my master Antony. Brutus, thy master is a wise, sensible, prudent, and brave Roman. I never thought any less of him. Tell him, so please him, come unto this place. He shall be satisfied. I will explain to him why Caesar had to be unfortunately killed. And he shall depart, go unharmed. I give my word of honor. The servant says, I'll fetch him right now. Brutus, I know that we shall have him well to befriend. So Brutus says, I know it'll be the right thing to have Antony support us, back us as a good friend. Cassius, I wish we may. I hope so. Cassius has his own reservations about Antony, but yet I have a mind that fears him much. I do have misgivings, and my doubts and suspicions, they always come true. They fall shrewdly to the purpose. They come true. Brutus, but here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony. Antony is ignoring everybody. He's going straight to the body of Caesar. O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Have you been brought to such a position as low as this? Are all your conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. He says, my God, Antony is just overcome with grief. He cannot believe that Caesar, who was riding the waves of glory, the waves of popularity, fame, after defeating Pompey, is lying so low in death. Now he addresses the conspirators. I know not, gentlemen. Gentlemen is a very ironic, sarcastic way of addressing these people. He says, I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else you're going to kill? I really don't know. And who else's rank too powerful, too evil in your eyes? And if I myself, if you hold me dangerous, there is no hour so fit. Kill me right now. There is no time so suitable as now. as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument, no sword, no weapon of even half that worth as your swords, which have been enriched, made sacred with the most noble blood of all in this world, that is Caesar's. I beg of you, I do beseech you, if you bear any grudge, any prejudice against me, now, when your purpled hands, your hands stained with the blood of Caesar, which smell, it stinks of blood, and it's still emitting, this foul odor of blood. Fulfill your pleasure right now. Kill me. I bare my chest to you. Kill me. You live 1,000 years. Or even if I live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so suitable to die as now. No place will please me so, no means of death, no method of death as here by Caesar and by you cut off. I want to be killed by you because you are the choice, the most distinguished and master spirits, the guiding light, the guiding spirits, the leaders of this age, these times. Right? So Brutus immediately steps in and says, "Oh, Antony, beg not death of us. Please don't ask us to kill you. We are your friends. Though now we must appear bloody. I know we appear, we seem absolutely cruel and bloody. We are covered with blood, and our hands are covered with the blood of this present act of us. You see only the action of our hands and the bleeding business they have done and the murder they have committed, the assassination that has taken place. You're not able to see our hearts. They are pitiful. They are filled with pity. And it's filled with pity for Rome because Rome was going under slavery. We had to do this. We were filled with pity for Rome. And now he gives this kind of a comparison. Just like fire drives out fire, just like fire extinguishes itself until it is fed with more fuel, it does not burn. So just like fire puts itself out, so pity drives pity out. Our pity for Caesar was driven out by our pity for Rome. And that is why we had to commit this crime for the sake of a free democratic Rome, because Caesar was getting too powerful. For your part, Antony, our swords have leaden points. Our swords are blunt. They have soft tips. Mark Antony, we are not planning to harm you at all. Our arms, which were so strong in the antipathy, in the enmity, we felt the malice we felt towards Caesar is now softened by brother's love for you. And we receive you with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence. We receive you, Cassius. Now he adds his bit. Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities. Please understand that you will be given a lot of power in the government that we are going to set up. Brutus, only be patient till we have appeased, placated the crowd, the multitude who are beside themselves with fear. They are in a state of panic. They have fled from the scene. They are in a state of confusion, chaos. Why did this happen? So we have to give them reasons. And after that, we are definitely going to set up the new government. And then we will deliver you the reason, the cause why I, of all the people who loved Caesar, attacked him, have thus proceeded, that I have acted thus. Antony, I doubt not your wisdom. Brutus, now Antony knows. You can picture him. He's standing right in the middle of all these people, who are standing with their swords dripping with blood, their hands, covered with blood. Antony is standing in the midst of all these butchers, so to speak, who have slaughtered Caesar. He has to be very diplomatic, or they are not going to hesitate to kill him. I doubt not your wisdom, says Antony. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now, yours, Metellus, yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, but not the least to love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on slippery grounds. What can I tell you? You know that I loved Caesar. My credit, my reputation now stands on very insecure grounds. Because you must be doubting me. How can I suddenly change heart? How can I forget my loyalty to Caesar and suddenly pledge loyalty to you? So I know that my reputation with you is on very, very slippery grounds. That one of the two bad ways you must conceit me. You must be considering me in a bad light, either as a coward who's scared of death and he is throwing his lot with you, murderers, or as a flatterer. I'm flattering you because I want to be alive. So you're going to be considering me as either a flatterer or a coward. That I did love thee, Caesar, it is true. Now he says, look, I don't blame you people. It is true that I loved Caesar. If then thy spirit look upon us now, if you're looking at us now, will it not grieve you, sadden you? Dearer far more than your death to see your Antony making peace, shaking the bloody fingers of your enemies, foes, most noble in the presence of your body? Will it not sadden you that I am making peace with your enemies? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, so many wounds. Now, if I had that many eyes, weeping as fast as these wounds pour forth your blood, Caesar, it would suit me better. I should be crying, pouring tears for you now, rather than to close in terms of friendship with your enemies. I should not be joining your enemies at all. Pardon me, Julius. Pardon me, Caesar. Here was thou bayed, Braveheart bayed, cornered and killed. Cornered, brave heart stag. You're a brave stag. And here, these hunters, conspirators, they cornered you. They rounded up on you and marked you with your blood and crimsoned in thy leath. And they have let your blood flow like the river Leith, which is the river of death. O world, you were the forest, you were the entire forest to this heart, this stag. Caesar is being compared to a brave deer here, helpless, noble, and brave, cornered by the hunters. And indeed, O world, the heart of thee. Now, he's talking about the heart of the stag, the heart. How like a deer struck by many princesses, you were killed by all these men, referring to them as princesses because that's what the hunters did in the old age. You lie here, dost thou lie right here? Isn't it sad that you lie here, right at the base of Pompey's statue? He's just giving in totally to his sorrow. And you have Cassius telling Mark Antony in a warning voice, very warning voice, cautioning him. Then Antony says, "Pardon me, Caius Cassius, even the enemies of Caesar will say so much, and I was his friend." And these words are very, very cold. It's cold modesty. It is cold and a very, very brief tribute to this man, to this great man. All right. Now I'll stop at this point. We have covered quite a chunk of it, and I'll go right ahead as soon as possible. This entire month I've been very, very busy coaching my students for their exam. If any of you wish to have an online class with me, just leave me a message or you can email me at Jyotisesh, JYOTHI .sesh at gmail.com, and I can schedule classes for you. Do like my channel Lost in Literature and subscribe to it. Hope to see you soon. Bye for now.